An exhibit at Reynolda Museum is shedding light on the Black experience at Reynolda Village. Part of that was the 5-row village where Reynolda's Black employees and their families live.
Fox 8's Jordan Brown shows us in this week's edition of In Black and White. The museum in Winston-Salem is working to make sure guests know the impact of Reynolda's Black workers.
Winston-Salem's Reynolda Village is known for its beautiful grounds, main house and museum, and deep history. But there was a portion of the village not widely known that held many memories and a history all on its own.
5-row was a village at Reynolda. 5-row was entirely segregated, all Black. And the schools were segregated, the churches were segregated at Reynolda.
5-row opened in 1916 as a small village containing 2 rows of 5 cottages. It was built specifically for Reynolda's Black workers, since they weren't allowed to live in the village with white workers.
They were tending the farms, they were building all these buildings. So any number of different jobs, from a shepherd to the person that serves breakfast in bed, to maids and cooks who are preparing meals for a large family.
These are the faces of the people who worked on this land for generations, and now they're on display inside Reynolda House. It was Gigi Parent who gathered most of these photos. A class she took at Wake Forest to fill her time during retirement sparked her interest in Reynolda's Black history.
I took American Foundations class, which was a class between Wake Forest and Reynolda House, because I was a business econ major and never took any art classes. So I took it for fun, so I could learn more about the art at Reynolda.
After taking the class, Parent was asked to curate a 5-row exhibit for the museum to give a glimpse of the life of Black workers.
Once I started working on the exhibit and found out the role Blacks had played in this, I felt like I owned the place, okay? I could walk in here, I could see Harvey Miller or John Carter. I looked everywhere around here and I felt such a sense of ownership.
She set out to find descendants of 5-row residents and shared their stories through her 1990 exhibit, The Spirit of Reynolda.
It was the largest attendance in the history of Reynolda. It was Blacks, whites, every race.
The exhibit also showed the progressive thinking of the Reynolds family at that time. Although they lived in separate quarters, Black workers were paid the same salary as white workers, and they shared common spaces like play areas and the swimming pool. That was something that was not only illegal at the time, but unheard of in the rural South.
Catherine Reynolds was a staunch segregationist, no doubt about it. But she did do separate but equal, right down to the schools. They had the same books, the same curriculum, pretty much. It was an 8-month school, whereas Black schools were 6 months. A lot of the Black professionals, doctors and lawyers, sent their kids to the 5-row school because it actually had a better curriculum.
Today, some of the photos Parent gathered have been brought back in a newer, broader exhibit about the Black experience at Reynolda. They're a reminder that there was a Black presence here, and they worked alongside white workers to make Reynolda what it is today.
I think you can't come to love this place and enjoy its surroundings without thinking about the people that made it possible.
In Winston-Salem, Jordan Brown, Fox 8 News.
All that's left of 5-row is a historical marker at the intersection of Silas Creek Parkway and Wake Forest Road. The village was demolished in 1962 to create Silas Creek Parkway. You can still see the Still I Rise exhibit at Reynolda until December of next year.